Rajdeep, you're one of them. How would you read with what happened yesterday? Which conspiracy theory do you subscribe to?
First of all, Preeti, I think that was a wonderfully written story because it brings together all the various conspiracy theories doing the rounds. What is increasingly clear, whether conspiracy or not, this has been in the making for a while. This wasn't something that happened at 9 p.m. yesterday. This has been building up for the last couple of months. Apparently, sources close to the former vice president are saying he was feeling uneasy about some of the about the manner in which the government was responding to some of the issues he was raising. Principally, one of the pet peeves of the vice president was the issue of the judiciary. Judicial independence, judicial corruption, judicial interventions in parliament. These are issues that Mr. Dhankar, a former Supreme Court lawyer, felt very strongly about. And it was that which we are told was the trigger for his eventual ouster. I'm not using the word resignation, but possible ouster, because the manner in which he took up the case of Justice Yashwant Verma, in whose house cash was found. Mr. Dhankar was determined to push ahead with an impeachment motion, allowed a notice which was signed primarily by opposition MPs to be tabled in parliament even before the government could react. And it almost seemed as if Mr. Dhankar therefore had made taking on the judiciary his personal cause. And that had embarrassed the Modi government because the Modi government was looking for better relations with the judiciary, and then you had Mr. Dhankar who wanted to take on the judiciary and create a potential parliament versus judiciary conflict if the Justice Yashwant Verma impeachment went through. So that was the trigger, but it's been building up, we are told, for a couple of months. You can see the comments that Mr. Dhankar has made on the farmers issue. We are also told that there was one foreign visit which Dhankar and family had planned, and there were elements in the government who scotched it. J.D. Vance, the US Vice President, was here last month, and protocol would have suggested that the Indian Vice President would be hosting him. Even that didn't happen. So something went wrong in this relationship in the last couple of months. The trigger, of course, we believe was what happened with the Justice Yashwant Verma case in Parliament yesterday. But clearly, health reasons are only, it seems, a fig leaf to give the Vice President a chance to exit. Some believe actually that he decided to exit before he was pushed out and almost preempted what the government, his close associates felt was intending to do, which is remove him from the Vice President's chair.
But Rajdeep, how does it all add up? Because at one end, you had somebody who was seen perception-wise as a loyalist, to the limit that the opposition not once but twice wanted to move and moved a no-confidence motion against him in Parliament today. Of course, the same opposition somewhere down the line are championing his cause, so that's come full circle. How does it all add up? Do you also see now Jagdeep Dhankhar take the Satyapal Malik route?
No, I don't think we can say that Jagdeep Dhankhar is taking the Satyapal Malik route. Certainly not yet. What is very clear is the opposition is fishing in troubled waters. They want to suggest that there is some major constitutional crisis, suggest that this is the typical Modi-Shah way of operating, of use and throw politics, while fully knowing that Jagdeep Dhankhar was someone who was seen to be the mouthpiece of the government, and as you're right, tried to move an impeachment motion against him not too long ago. So forget the opposition for a moment. What does it say about the way the government functions is the question. Is it that if any constitutional authority is seen to exercise any kind of autonomy, he or she will be immediately brought in line? Remember, the Supreme Court has already tried to clip the powers of governors and presidents when it comes to sitting on bills. And now we have a situation where a presidential reference has been brought in, wherein the president is effectively challenging the Supreme Court's writ. So you do have several issues where the government is making it very clear that they will not allow anyone to enter the so-called writ of this government. And maybe Jagdeep Dhankhar made that one vital mistake of trying to, in some way, after having spent years being the mouthpiece of the government, actually departing from the government's view when it came to the judiciary.
Optics, Rajdeep, has been something that this government has got mostly right all the time. This might not serve too well in the larger scheme of things. Do you concur?
Well, not really. You see, look, I don't think unless Jagdeep Dhankhar comes out tomorrow and, as you said, becomes a Satyapal Malik and takes on the government, I don't think the government is too concerned about what happens to Jagdeep Dhankhar and whether this will spark off a wider conflict. It's not going to. The government believes it can still control the narrative. They are determined to go ahead with a new vice presidential choice at the earliest, and Jagdeep Dhankhar will be history. That's how this city operates. Delhi is a city where courtiers can become conspirators or enemies the very next day. And that could well happen with Jagdeep Dhankhar. I think the government believes, yes, for today the optics don't seem very favorable, but that public memory is short, and Jagdeep Dhankhar will soon be a footnote in parliamentary history, and the Modi government will move on. The larger issue of that judiciary versus executive conflict that is brewing is the issue that has to be looked at. Because remember, it's not just Justice Yadav. There's another impeachment, not just Justice Verma, there's another
Justice
impeachment
Yadav.
process against Justice Yadav, which is being sought to be moved. How is all that going to play? And how will the tensions between the judiciary and the executive work out in the months ahead?
Well, that's already seeming to happen because you have the Home Minister who's right now at the Lok Sabha Speaker's residence, and we believe the topic of discussion is the impeachment motion against Justice Verma. Appreciate you joining us, Rajdeep.